Hello everybody, hope you're doing really well today. So, today, what are we looking for? We're looking for an amazing bit of history. Now, I normally sort of say that in pretty much every video that I do. However, there's a slight difference with this one. So, on the OS map, it's labelled as Sarsen stones, which is correct. However, what we're about to look at is what they call a clearance cairn. Now, when you hear the word cairn, for me, it always sort of evokes Gaelic, sort of Scottish, Irish sort of, heritage. But today we are in Kent. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning around here, and it links, if you carry on going, it sort of links onto the cusp of Medway. But today we're looking at what is referred to as a clearance cairn. Now, what that is that farmers would basically, it's basically an old-fashioned rubbish tip, to be polite, but it's a very special one, because what's happened is that the farmer, at whatever period of time, now clearance cairns have been going for, since the Bronze Age at least, and what happens is that they clear out the boulders that are on their field. Now, in this case, it doesn't have to be necessarily Sarsen stones, but in this case it is, because Sarsen stones, obviously, for Kent landscape, Sarsen is really what are, the sort of part of topography that we have. And what they've done is that they've cleared out these Sarsen stones and put them in a ditch. Now, originally, historical records, what I saw was that, or what I read, sorry, was that it was labelled as that they might have been in a ring formation. So we're going to find that out to see if actually there is a ring of Sarsen stones, which to any other person would look like a sort of barrow site, really. But we're going to check that out. We're going to see, we're going to find out what that's really about. But however, what we are looking for is a collection of Sarsen stones. So it's really important that we go along and we document it, because the thing is that for our heritage, because it's labelled and because it's a part of our landscape, it's so important that we document even these types of things. And it was something that I'd always seen on the OS map, like I said, it was labelled as Sarsen stones. It's just slightly off the footpath, so technically it is on the farmer's land, but it's just slightly off the footpath. We're not sort of trudging deep into the sort of woodland of Hartley. But it's amazing, because where it should back onto is the farmer's field, and that field could have been used, like we said, easily up until the Bronze Age. So it's agriculture, just symbolising agriculture, and it's amazing. And more importantly, I'm going to take you with me, because you need to watch this, you need to see this, you need to see these incredible Sarsen stones that technically have been placed there, but not for sort of any sort of ritualistic or burial purpose, because if they weren't cleared out, the farmer won't be able to plough his field, and just amazing, just amazing. But you let's look. I've said too much. Let's look. Come on. Now the omens are looking really good today. Oh my god, I've literally just started to walk up, and guess what I found already? This is on the side of the road. Yep, that's right. It's a big old Sarsen stone. Oh man. And they retain this like spiritual heat almost. They absorb this glorious sun that's beating down on them. And there's another one over there. Should we go visit that one? By opposite, next to the pylon. You might not be able to see it. Finger of doom. Let's go quickly have a look at that one. But look at this. Well, if they're not in the field now, I don't know what we're going to do. So clearly the farmer's taken these out of the pit, and yeah, how amazing. Let's quickly head up and have a look at this other one. I swear I can see it. I had to have my glasses on. Thank God for wearing glasses. I may not look good with them, but they have a practical purpose. Yeah, look, there's another one. How amazing. Now that one's interesting. It's got a bit of slight weathering to it. Almost looks like two fingerprints. So we're on the right track, everybody. See, that's so cold on the shadow side, and then on the already just on that flat surface, it's warm. Look at that. And at some point, that was in that field. I think, with the eye of faith actually, I think that down there's a few more. So there must have been loads of sarsen stones. I'm really quite nervous now because I'm hoping there are still some left. Otherwise, you know, I'm just going to be filming these two and saying to you, look, trust me, there was a cairn here at some point. But look at that. And then what they're doing is they're sort of, well, these shrubs, I'm assuming these are going to be, I'm not a tree expert, but at some point they're going to grow up and you're going to have this sort of drive through of amazing trees. But look at that. 2 sarsen stones down already and we haven't even gone to the cairn yet. How cool. Well, sorry, some of you might find this really boring, but to me it symbolises our heritage. It symbolises the countryside, it symbolises farming and industry on a very practical sense. And it's just something very magical about that, especially sarsen stones, because they are very spiritual and there's something very special and significant about them. But let's just actually find this. Come on. I'm walking now in the field, the actual field where this cairn would have, where the farmers sort of taken away the sarsen stones, we hope. And I'm assuming this beautiful field that lays before us, being farmed for centuries. Just incredible really to sort of think that the fact that at some point there were sarsen stones on here in this field lying, maybe scattered. If they weren't scattered, that could only mean one thing, that it was a burial site. But we'll never know unless Time Team comes back, which it supposedly is. I love Time Team. And they come to this field, wouldn't they? And then they try and find evidence of burning or some form of mound maybe. Or, well, former mound, shall we say, because there aren't any mounds here now. I mean, if you look. Right, so we're just sort of heading into where I believe roughly where this group of sarsen stones is. And it's not too bad here. It's not too overgrown. You've got clusters of trees, but you can see that there's like a little, not necessarily a footpath, but you can see where people have been walking, and I think it looked like I can see a couple of depressions over there, so I'm assuming that's where it is. But let's have a look. Right, so here we are. Isn't this amazing? This is a cairn clearance. All these amazing sarsen stones. They've just been left here. Amazing. So the bank up at the top is where the farmer's field is. Isn't that amazing? And to think that these are just sort of a huge part of our rural landscape and our heritage of like farming and everything else is absolutely amazing. And these are the ones that you can see, because there's a lot that you can't underneath. So you can sort of see up there. And then if we walk around, so it's in this sort of shallow depression. Isn't it amazing? Let's walk around. Can we walk around? Of course we can. Here we go. Huge sarsen stones. Oh, it's amazing. and to think that these could have been used as, these are the same sort of stones that get used for our long barrows, especially in Kent. It's amazing the fact that they've been cleared out, and they could have belonged to a barrow site, they could have belonged to a burial mound, we don't actually know, but it's the fact that they're here, and this is sort of the early stages of farming. We don't know how old these are. They might be fairly modern. They can't be really, because this farmland's been here for a long time. But can you imagine, regardless, the effort that it takes to move these incredible stones? I mean, they're blocks, they're sheer blocks. I mean, put it in perspective. There's my hand. It's just amazing. There's another one. They're all sort of in the one there, see? They're all buried. So I guess that most of what you can see isn't representative of everything that's here. See, look, there's another one there's a couple that are buried here. There's one there. There's another one there. Oh, wow. That's the big one up there. Try and get up to that one. Look at that. To think, again, these are types of stones that people have been using, our ancient ancestors, for generations, and that it might have belonged to a barrow site, but even if it didn't, these are first-hand sort of handheld bits of sarsen stone that you can grab onto, and you can really feel that, because they're out of situ of anything, but they were originally in that field, to be ploughed or dragged up across. It's amazing. Keep down. There you go. I know I say it on a regular basis, but my God, nature's amazing, isn't it? This early man, this farming, it's just incredible to think that we know that this was a part of a cairn, or is a cairn, sorry. Group of rocks. These weren't placed necessarily, they looked like they were more dumped. I've read there might have been a chance they would have been put into a ring just out of the sheer, probably the folly of it really, more than anything else, but as you can see, I mean, if you had the eye of faith, you could argue that in this depression that we've got that's around here, that those stones originally probably would have been placed on top, and that they've sort of looked like they've slid down. But that's just that's just me and my fanatical sort of fantastical way of thinking about it. How amazing. Amazing bit of history, right? Just, we know that they were placed here for a reason, because of farming and agriculture, the thing that we live off of now, the thing that back then was so vital, which still is these days, but even more so back then. They were relying on their crops, they were relying on, so to have these huge stones or boulders, in their opinion, in their field, they had to get rid of them so they could keep the cycle of life going, food and cattle, and it's amazing to think, really, isn't it? Right. Oh well. Amazing, you can hear the buzzards. Wow. Right. So one more look. So, as I sit here for a while, just to reminisce, think of how amazing this place is, or how rare it is to find stuff like this, I'll say thank you as always for watching. Stay safe no matter what you're doing, and the immortal words of Phoenix history, because history matters. And I'll see y'all very soon. Take care for now. Bye everybody. Wow. Bye. Wow.